broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's just slow, dramatic.
I know, right?
Slow, dramatic build. Just right there. We're ready.
I've got my Elliot spirit fingers going.
Should I intro the show in this tone?
I think so.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann, and we're doing the Mr. Robot After Show. Okay, I can't maintain that. I cannot maintain that for too long.
Dude, that was... No, I'm kidding.
Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube.com. If you're watching us live, there's 3 out of 4 of us have laptops.
One of these things is not like the other.
No, she offered to grab it, and
She's got a cup,
and we didn't.
So I got a cup, man.
If you're listening to us,
I got
on
the
iTunes,
good stuff.
Please like us, rate us, subscribe to us. If you're watching us live on, the YouTube, we're gonna be in the chat. All 3 of us, just not looking at the camera, just looking at our screens.
I just like to be present. So what I'm doing.
But
no, I'm just kidding.
Stef Z, who is present, but still has her phone out. If you wanted to tweet at Stef Z, where would they be able to?
You guys could tweet me at IAMSTEFZ, and I will respond to you. I promise.
We were just talking about that.
Hey guys, this is Ashley Chatman. You guys can tweet at me on Twitter, Ashley_Chatman.
And you know what? Before introducing myself, I want to just give a quick shout out to Bill at Steel Mountain.
I want to give Bill a hug.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to give him a
And
back
Bill,
rub.
if you ever want to tweet at me, just go to JC Rubio TV on Twitter or send me a picture on Instagram.
Hashtag
Bill, you matter.
You do
You do matter. You're important.
You do matter. Hey, I would stay the appropriate amount of time at your funeral. I would not leave early.
I would bring food to your funeral. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Can we keep this music going?
Can we just keep this tense the entire way?
Yeah,
I think we could try.
I don't know.
We could definitely
Or
try.
not.
Yeah, or not.
Quick shout out, actually, chat row. Steve, thank you for. We missed you, man, and the fans are saying the same.
Thank you guys. I was in Philadelphia and New York and Atlantic City and New Jersey. I was a lot of places.
Did you win any money?
I did.
Nice. What are you buying us?
I didn't win that much money, but I actually wound up at the Las Vegas airport at some point in my travels too, and then I won a lot of money there.
Nice.
I was all over the place.
Nice.
Yeah. Drove a bike across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So how about Mr. Robot tonight?
Oh, is that what we were? Sorry, you guys sidetracked me. I know. Thought we were going to talk about my trip. Mr. Robot tonight is awesome as per the usual.
Well, I mean, yeah, I have to say that last week, not that last week wasn't awesome, it was different. I feel like we talked about how it made us feel different, and this week kind of felt more back on track with the first 3 episodes, and, gave us that suspense, played a lot more of that music that we started with. Maybe that's what it was last week. The music was different. No, I'm totally kidding. But I thought it was a great episode.
I'm kind of on the fence about tonight's episode, only because I did feel at the beginning that we were getting back on track from the original plot line, which was working with F Society to bring down Evil Corp. Like, that seemed like that was going to be the meat of the show. But we're going on all these parallel side trips with Vera and, with Angela and her fighting about with her dad. So it was just a lot of stuff to me that kind of veered off a little bit, in my opinion, from Steel Mountain, which I would have liked to have explored that. I mean, I know that they did show a lot of Steel Mountain on the show today, but I don't know. It's starting to feel like a different show to me than what we originally thought at the beginning.
I think all roads lead to one, and I think we have to go through this. And last week, of course, we have to talk about it. How we had a hard time breaking it down, but it really was the crux, I think, of the whole season. All the answers are going to be in that episode, and I think we're starting to see this with Fernando, with Vera. I think that's completely irrelevant with what's going on. guarantee it's gonna make sense. It's just right now, I think the writers did it on purpose.
Yeah.
To kind of confuse us, like what we witnessed today with Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
At the end.
I know it all comes full circle. It's just what they originally set up at the beginning with Elliot say, it's happening. Like, it just seemed to me that was going to be the drive home plot. And I like it, but it was just, it kind of threw me for, off a little bit.
Everyone on Reddit is feeling for Bill.
I know.
Like, that's just literally Bill.
A moment of silence for Bill, everybody.
Literally.
I mean, we're all feeling for Bill, but in the same place. Bill got a job. Bill got paid. It's all just acting.
He got cats.
Yeah. Well, he definitely got cats. Everybody gets something. Bill got cats.
I love Bill. I mean, and I'm sure it takes a lot to, like, take that as an actor, because how many times did they have to say that over and over and over again to him, and you have to feel that? Yeah. But, we
I
love
thought that
Bill.
was a really great scene, though. Like,
God.
It showed a lot about Elliot's character, with him having the flashback with his mom. And again, it's the back and forth with Elliot. Like, is he really the protagonist? Like, I know that was a part of the plan to sort of get Bill's supervisor, so they had to sort of go through that. But I could see that there was an internal struggle there with Elliot having to say something like that and really tear him down, because he seems like the person who he always wants to be the helper. He wants to be the one that brings down the bad guy and the support for the good people. So it was interesting seeing him go through that.
But it's consistent with what you said, because he wanted to turn around and actually, explain to Bill, and then he had to continue on the mission. So I think it's still consistent.
Well, and I think it's also consistent, and it's perfect in this episode, that Mr. Robot is literally in his ear. That it's just making it easier for us in that. Is it even a theory at this point? Is it even a theory at this point that Mr. Robot is just him? And he's just bipolar, and that when Mr. Robot's out interacting with other people, that's still him?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Well, the thing that stood out for me with that scene with Bill and Elliot was the fact that even though we've seen him as this guy that at the end of the day his quote-unquote morals prevail, this time they didn't, because of a bigger thing that he wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
So there was that internal conflict for a minute, and you see that he's willing to do something that isn't him in order to do this other bigger thing that also might not necessarily be him.
Yeah, we see him sacrificing a bit of his morals for something that's supposed to bring the greater good, but we're still unsure at this point if that's what's really going to happen.
It's funny you mentioned that. If you go to who'smrrobot.com, they have you go through these little scenarios. And what you just talked about right now, just giving up for the greater good, is I forget, it's one of the questions on there's a game you can play, and you become a member of F Society. So very well played. It's all tied in. So let's get into this.
Yes.
I know, right?
So they're at F Society's at a Starbucks. We all know how this episode starts, but we're going to end there because that was the whole crux of the episode. That was the whole crux of the episode and where they're moving forward to. F Society's at their version of a Starbucks. I know. We're on a Reddit thread right now.
You guys on a Reddit thread? Okay.
We're on a Reddit thread right now. Somebody had a great breakdown that we have to save. Well, now I talk about it. Seven Deadly Sin. This is a Seven Deadly Sin episode. Tyrell is lust and his wife is envy. The Dark Army is greed. Elliot is wrath. Mobley's gluttony. Romero's pride. And Darlene is anger.
Wow.
Both Cisco and Angela have betrayal, and Mr. Robot is sloth.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
like that.
Ali can have lust.
That is Reddit user Anna, ANAGATAM, Anna Gatam.
Shout out.
That would be Anna Gatam.
I love
Anna
that.
Gatam.
Yeah.
See, that's what's so powerful about this show is it's making people think and explore and say things like that. Like, come on, that tie together is awesome.
Yeah.
And to expand on what you just said, because a lot of people have actually been turning their back on the series. Actually, every week the viewership is kind of dropping, and I think people are giving up on the series. No, I mean, not to the point where it's because they're being challenged.
Yeah.
We're losing some viewers because it's too much. It's too much for me to handle right now. But the ones that are staying, and it'll grow again. But I'm just saying right now, we've even had fans reach out to us, let's jump the shark. I mean, are you serious? You're 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
Come on.
Give it a chance.
Let it develop.
No, I agree with you. I mean, we touched on it last week too. I can see why people would jump ship, but I mean, the ship like just got away from the dock, man. Come on, it's like it's a safe jump still. Like, let it ride for a little bit.
It's part of the story. Trust me, they're doing it on purpose.
Would you have said this the 5th episode of Mad Men? I don't like.
No.
It's a spider making this giant tapestry for you. Just let them. Because back before TV, you would watch a spider make a web. I think, right? I didn't live then. I don't know what they did. You made a fire, and then you had a spider sew a web above the fire, or something like that. That's how I would be entertained back then. Right. But that's what's happening here. It's just this very elaborate tapestry. You just got to let them go.
I dropped out of episode 5 of Mad Men season 1. True story.
Well,
True story. Wow.
You missed out.
Yeah.
You really missed out.
I'm making it up. This is my catharsis right here.
It'll be on Netflix, so you can catch it up.
All right, so what else did we see on the whole plan and just about Elliot talking about people are the easiest to hack.
Yes, and talking about people's hacks. I thought
All
that
their
would be
little buttons, their
interesting.
exploits, how we can exploit them.
Yeah.
Hence the title of the episode.
Yep, and it's also it's exploits spelled weird .wmv, which is like the worst video. Like, it's a terrible video format. It's like lag. Like, so I guess I'm reading into that it's like super slow. And that's also the idea of revolution taking a long time. And you're talking about people turning away from this, and I think some of those people want the plan to be over with by now.
Yeah.
And like oh, we should just be living in this world.
And they want Mr. Robot to already be real. I mean, not real right now, so that we can sort of move on from that. But it can't be that easy.
It's funny because I read the title of it as the exploit going slow, that there's still so much more that we're going to see that's going to be exploited on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like it is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, what's happening here. And I mean, I think it's great to see the Steel Mountain Plan. Like, of course they pulled it off. So again, it just shows their brilliance. What kind of got me was the fact that there they are. What is it? 6 of them, in the F society, quote unquote, if counting Mr. Robot. It's like those 6 people could destroy something, could destroy this company. Like, it was just crazy to me how when there's hacking and stuff like this, the numbers don't have to be necessarily so large.
Yeah.
It could be a few people together masterminding these crazy hacks. It's kind of scary in a way.
Welcome to the internet.
I know. I mean, in like totally small tangent, but I don't know if you guys saw today on the news, I saw that some of these self-driving cars, they tested that someone could hack it and made the car stand still. So it's like there's so much power in so many people's hands that it's kind of dangerous of who has that power, really, and you can't control it.
That said, we should still be looking towards autonomous vehicles. They are the future. It's going to be Uber's fleet very soon.
I'm waiting. I can't wait till 2020.
And the word is autonomous.
Right.
Much like a monorail.
So, interesting hitch in Steel Mountain. Dark Army backs out, what do you guys think the reason for them backing out is?
I think it's something with Tyrell Wellick and the stuff we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's my thought there, that there seems to, similar to Steel Mountain, tip of the iceberg, things moving slowly, there seems to be a lot we don't know yet. Also, another Reddit user, I just noticed this, said that on the thermostat that Elliot took out, it was all a dream ink. Was what was written on the thermostat, which I think is too on the nose. I think that's actually a company's name in this world, and that they actually did this, but that would be
interesting.
That would be interesting if 3 episodes later he's still in that hotel room going through withdrawal. And by interesting, I mean I'd want 3 episodes back.
That shit crazy.
That seems unlikely. Hole. That seems unlikely, but it also seems like something they would put in an episode to just mess with you.
Yeah.
But it's in the episode. It's all a dream ink.
But again, I feel like and again, maybe they're just leading us down the wrong path, but I feel like some things, I feel like we were kind of all on the same page once we saw that the Dark Army withdrew and Tyrell now showed up randomly at Steel Mountain. I feel like Tyrell is so much more involved in this whole thing.
Of course.
Is this going back to episode 2 when Elliot hacked Tyrell? He's just laying the cheese. It's a mousetrap.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Well, and also in last episode, which we didn't really touch on, when Elliot was back in his apartment having that whole hallucination, Tyrell was sitting at his desk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're somehow super intertwined.
They're very intertwined. Whether it's Tyrell, many are saying that Tyrell, Mr. Robot, and Elliot are all three parts of one person's psyche. That said, they all can't be one character.
No.
Tyrell's a different person.
Yeah.
I think Tyrell's a different person.
But I think Tyrell represents where Elliot could possibly go if he veers down the wrong road. You know, Tyrell, he is very successful. He's very wealthy. He has an arrogance about himself, which, I mean, we kind of sense that a little bit in Elliot in the first few episodes. Like, he's very confident in himself and in his ability to hack people and basically bring people down. So I think that, at least from my perspective, I feel like Tyrell he's a real character, he's a separate person, but he is a representation of where Elliot could potentially go, like if he makes the wrong turns, if he makes the wrong moves. And I think Mr. Robot is, on the other side, just sort of a manifestation of like where his potential is if he really does take this head with F Society.
The two roads, kind of like what Angela's facing.
Ended, so.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important that Tyrell makes it clear that he knows that Elliot's father worked at E-Corp and knows the button to push. Mm-hmm. So clearly he did more research on Elliot. Like, clearly he knows what Elliot's up to. And again, I don't know, I feel like we all kind of touched upon in episode 2 that we thought maybe they were working together. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a lot's still up in the air, but it could be possible.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something I wanted to bring up with everyone, and we talked about fan feedback, and we got something that I agreed, because I'm having a hard time with this series because we've established that he's an unreliable narrator. Mm-hmm. With that said, there needs to be a symbol, a totem, something that helps guide us, someone like what the fan was saying, someone close to Elliot that is that reliability that we can base our clues on. What is that one thing that tells us what is real and what is not?
Angela? I think Angela would be the closest we could. She seems...
But even with the hallucinations that he had in the last episode, I mean, Angela could still... What she does could still be manipulated by Elliot.
Well, and we see that Angela at her father's house now is seeing all this paperwork from E-Corp. In some way, shape, or form... Does Angela know her dad's involved with E-Corp, and that's why she was working at Allsafe, and they needed to take her off because the father is somehow involved, and he didn't want her daughter working on this case? I mean, who knows?
No, I don't feel the father's. I feel like
what was all that paperwork she found then?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the mother. She met Elliot from a support group or a group of people, or a class action lawsuit from people against Evil Corp.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the mother is no longer with us, just like Elliot's father's no longer with us.
And those are payments from E-Corp?
Those are payments from E-Corp, and she doesn't like that. That's how I took it. Also, I noticed her dad's name is Donald. I caught that part too. Mm-hmm. Dad Donald, I like that. Just phonetic. It's nice.
Dad Donald.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there was more
to it than
that, yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to see what the chat roll is telling us. And anything, of course, iTunes. We have to talk.
Of course, iTunes. Yes. Rate us 5 stars for listening to our voice, and you believe we're worth 5 stars. Please rate us 5 stars. Yes. I'm not commanding you. I'm just saying that's the outcome we would prefer. That helps us get more notoriety. So at Who Is Mr. Robot can tweet at us more times.
That's right.
Yes.
And
yeah, can't wait to wear the swag.
Yes.
Shotgun swag, dude.
And then I did notice Christian Slater will be in town, not this weekend, but next weekend. So that would be cool if he would be on that couch, which is currently empty right now.
Just throwing that out there.
That exists, and those things all happen if we get more visibility from liking, rating, subscribing. Write a nice review. We will read it.
Oh, we're hearing. See, no, that's not right. We're hearing from the chat roll that it says they were bills from. It was debt.
That he's incurring a lot of debt. That would make sense too.
Oh, okay.
All I really caught was his name's Donald. I may have been incorrect on everything else.
Well, I guess that makes sense because he tried to make it seem, like, oh, I can support you. I have all this money, and maybe the.
But we've
the
been
real
told that he has all this money too.
Right.
We've been told, and that's why she was so nervous that the information would get out, and that's what we were led to believe is why she went back and put that disc in all safes, because they were telling her that. So I feel like there's got to be more to that. There's got to be more.
It's definitely connected to her mom and Evil Corp and what happened with the whole blow up.
Yeah.
JC, you seem a little baffled over there. What's going on?
I'm just baffled right now because it's the middle of the season right now, and I want totems. I want something to give me a clue. Something like I'm still mulling that over. I just want some. I know it drives you guys crazy. I just want just a little through something that tells me. I know we're gonna at the end of the season we'll come back and I'm like, oh, this was the thing I was supposed to be looking at.
But that's part of the fun. This is a rewatchable show.
It wouldn't be good if you had those
you did,
nuggets,
yeah.
because it would be so, like in the beginning when we were talking about, is it really, like Fight Club? Is it really like Matrix? Is it really like Dexter? Like if it was so along those same lines, I feel like we would be, like I feel like even if you did have the information, you just wouldn't be happy either. I feel like there's no way of pleasing you, JC.
That's my exploit, or are you exploiting my weakness?
Yes.
Is that my monster?
That's your hack.
But while we're on, well, a little bit more about Darlene and the Dark Army.
Yeah.
Darlene is talking to her contact of the Dark Army, who is also the guy handing out
The
CDs, whose name
Cisco.
Cisco, thank you.
Right. With the
And
CD
then-
say, I
and she
spy, I
got-
spy, I spy.
And she got banned from an IRC. She got banned from an IRC that she was talking to the Dark Army with, and she mentioned a person named White Rose. Now, it may just be a false flag, but White Rose was a non-violent intellectual resistance group in Nazi Germany against the Nazis. That's just words. Words have meaning. That's what White Rose mean. That's what White Rose was.
So what are we saying? Are we saying Tyrell is White Rose?
That's what Reddit's saying.
His wife.
Or his wife. Well, Tyrell is speaking. He's not speaking Dutch. He's speaking Danish.
Swedish.
Swedish.
And his wife is
speaking
speaking
Danish.
Neither of them are speaking German. Never mind.
Okay.
But that might also be something they leave there for us to
Is that the
investigate
only
for no
thing that
reason.
White Rose means?
Well, it could also mean a white rose.
Well-
I mean,
I know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've read that somewhere too. Tyrell.
yeah.
Tyrell's dirty.
Tyrell is everywhere.
He's so.
Tyrell is all-seeing. Like Tyrell.
He is.
That's why anytime they're like, what do you think happened? It's the easiest way to be Tyrell's probably responsible, because Tyrell seems all-seeing and all-knowing, and I think that's
Like an evil oracle?
kind of like, I think that's his deal. I think that's what he likes to do.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's so. Let's talk about Tyrell and his wife, and they're going to see. He's clearly trying to jump ship to another company from E Corp, because when he does have that little bit of small talk with the gentleman whose name we never catch
At the dinner.
at the dinner, he mentions I would be your number two. I'd make an amazing number two. And then they have that really good scene about, would you trust, if you were me, would you trust me, or would I trust you? And it's like, well, I wouldn't let me here if I were you.
Yeah.
Well, we're past that. And then, is he trying to step out on Evil Corp? And
I don't think so. I don't think that at all. You must learn your enemy at all costs. That was the plan from the get with his wife.
Yeah.
They were going to have that dinner and get close to them.
I thought he was being vetted for CTO for Evil Corp. I thought that was what that
or
guy
is
was.
is this the CTO they were vetting?
Yeah,
I feel like this is the same company.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay,
what are
that
you guys
makes way
talking
more
about?
sense.
Yeah.
Why would you step out on Evil Corp? That makes more sense.
Because he went, I believe it was last week, he tried to get a meeting, and he tried to get a meeting and he got denied for the meeting, but you saw them in the room talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's a lot of candidates for this position, so he's just probably making his way down the line. Like, who can I really get a hold of?
How many homes can I break?
Which was interesting.
Until I'm the CTO.
Which was interesting because I would have thought that when he called Elliot out on knowing that Elliot set up the whole thing, that he would have said thank you, thinking that he would then have the opportunity to be a CTO. Mm-hmm. Like, all that did was create an opportunity for him.
Yeah.
So, of course, why he wasn't going to tell on Elliot, and he wasn't going to, do anything about it because it made his life better.
And I still think he has a plan for Elliot. And whatever him and his wife are planning, Elliot is involved in some way, shape, or form. So I still feel like he is using that as a way to manipulate Elliot in a sense. And it's a part of his intimidation tactic, which he does beautifully. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to give a clap to. I mean, even though he's a bad guy, I have to give a clap to Tyrell because I just.
I love him.
every scene,
I love his character. He's
it's
so
just-
smart.
Yeah, it's so meticulous. But I think that he has plans for Elliot within whatever scheme that they have for E Corp, and it's just a way of holding that over his head. So to come back and bite him in the butt later.
Well, and it is. Why is
Yes.
Tyrell there? Why is Tyrell at Steel Mountain?
Yeah.
You know, like that's just too random.
It was too convenient.
It was way too convenient to
Yeah.
not be. And for the inside information about Colby that he doesn't, I guess he didn't have it. He just knew Colby wasn't the leader of society.
Yeah.
So and then that Elliot had to be involved.
yeah.
Okay,
No, go for it.
I was a super fan and brought up that could have been in Elliot's head too. The whole bathroom scene with Tyrell.
Agreed.
Possibly.
See, I feel like I, you know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I've just started watching in that it's all real. You know, like I feel like this whole like still trying to figure out who's fake, who's real. This could be a delusion. This could be not. I mean, I feel like we're gonna find that out, and it's gonna be blatant, and then it will all make sense. But it's almost like I feel like, and again, I don't know, maybe, but it is like I feel like that scene. Like, why would he stop putting the you know, he was doing the raspberry pie there, and then he stopped, and then he went back. Like, why would he, like, it's a
Yeah.
little far-fetched to
Well,
me.
whether it's real or not, if we're seeing it, it means that it's significant and that
Yeah.
it's going to have a purpose and it's
Right.
going to tie back
So
in.
I'm trying to buy into what they're showing
I
us.
vote
Yeah.
reverse totem. Mr. Robot's fake. Everything else is real. And then it's a reverse totem.
Yeah, that's what we said two episodes
Yeah,
ago. I totally agree. What if he's the only thing that's not real?
See,
But again, it's like we could
he's
go through
talking to
every
us.
character
Yeah.
saying who's real and
He's
fake.
talking to us, and he flat out says we aren't real. So he's telling a story. To
Right, and
no
last
one or
week
to himself.
Last week they said Mr. Robot speaking. Like, remember in the closed caption? So I feel like
Well, his interaction with Darlene, I mean, well, that could easily have been Elliot, but
But then what? Is Shayla just having sex with herself? I mean, like, come on.
well, no, I mean,
No, I think
Mr.
he's-
Robot is
possible.
Elliot. Well, but then at the end where
Shayla's
Mr.
not
Robot
sleeping with
says,
Christian Slater, dude.
No, she's not.
It's
No,
not
I'm saying
happening.
where Mr. Robot is in Elliot's mind. But at the very end of that whole confrontation, when Mr. Robot says, "Can somebody communicate with her?" You know, Elliot kind of comes and soothes things over. So I feel like that would be a weird jump if that were Elliot.
I think with
blowing up at her, and then
That's how I read it. That's how I read the scene, was that essentially he just comes off as a bipolar person, that all of Christian Slater screaming and knocking stuff over and yelling, and then he disappears, and then Elliot comes in and it's like, you can crash at my place. So, like, it'll be okay.
But she was so
he
receptive to that, though.
But I think she's just dealt with him for so long that she deals with the fact that he's just two people. Darlene strikes me as the kind of person who would just deal with that.
Right, I just
yeah,
feel like
people
we're.
crazy.
I don't know. My personal opinion is just that we watch.
yeah.
Like, we could
That's
dissect.
interesting.
Still to this point, we could totally dissect every character, seeing if they're real or fake. And I feel like, regardless, there's a bigger picture. Like, I don't feel like at the end of the show it's going to be revealed that like 3 are fake and 5 are real,
Yeah,
and
and
that's it. Like,
and
there's
that's
going to be
not
a
what-
bigger plot point, and there's going to be a bigger reveal. So
Because what's gonna happen
I'm
in
just
season
trying
2?
to let it go and like be because they can't just be like, oh, these people are fake. Let's go get some more fake people. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just letting it go and watching.
I know it's not even a prediction. I'm just truly excited just to get to the end of this season.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then to see
out-
what world is created from there. I'm fine. What's
Because you're rushing it, man.
I'm not rushing it. I just want to know. That's it. I'm sorry.
Put in his time and his work, and he just wants.
Shit, you want like the
your
Cliff
prize,
Notes,
yeah.
dude.
Well, no, I'm excited to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am
can't speak for
too.
JC, but I'm excited to.
I'm excited that I finally let myself be in the journey, and I did, because you can sit there and you can be like, well,
Yeah,
he's
and
taking
dissect
morphine.
everything,
Oh,
yeah.
he's doing it more. What? He's having withdrawals. Oh, the delusion's bigger. Like, you can go back and forth in your head the whole time and almost feel like this guy, or you can just kind of watch.
All right.
That's how we
I
do.
guess we're watching. We're just gonna watch it then. That's all we can do.
How do we feel about Tyrell Wellick and that scene in the bathroom?
Just an,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
It was, I mean, he's
It was
such a
artistry, yeah.
jerk, but it was like you said it when we were watching. It was like
Right.
he didn't want to. screw her, he wanted to screw her head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he accomplished that with flying colors. Like, he is a powerful individual.
Yeah.
Very
100%. He gets what he wants. He manipulates people. He's smart. He's good looking. Like, he's got it together, I think. As warped as it is in whatever world that, but he's, I don't know. I think there's a big fail in his future, but
Of
I feel
course,
like as
yeah.
of right now, he's trying to.
I mean, as Elliot was saying, or Mr. Robot was saying, that his arrogance, it's his greatest asset, but it's also his.
That's his downfall.
Yeah, it's his downfall. So
Yeah.
it
That's
his
is
exploit.
eventually what's going to bring him. But I love to see that. I would really. I mean, I'm sure Elliot and Tyrell are going to go at it, but I think that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really great scene. Like, just the power, mechanisms that they both have with each other.
It's kind of funny too, because does Tyrell really have the power, or does his wife? Like, I want to know more about her.
It's the wife.
What's her role? Like,
The
who
wife
is
has
she?
a lot of power.
It even says it on USA's webpage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do we know her role yet? Is anyone super clear on?
I think she just holds the strings.
She's White Rose.
Yeah, she is. White Rose.
She
Maybe.
could be White Rose. She's home a
Maybe.
lot. No,
Did
we
she have
actually
on
don't-
all white? Yeah, but she's pregnant. That would be a weird.
She
Also,
was drinking too.
Fatty Boombalatti on Reddit. That's his username. I think I just wanted to call out his username. We don't even need...
I kind of want to say that too, Fatty Boobalatti.
That's a good name. Boombalatti, D-E-E.
Oh, yeah, look
Alex
at that.
Sepiol is an executive at USA. Sam Esmail created Mr. Robot, so we got Sam Sepiol,
Very nice.
Right.
the
Nice.
fake venture, the
same
fake tech
name.
billionaire.
Which is, again, is crazy how they were just showing that you really can create anyone
Anything,
and create
yeah.
a Wikipedia page, and like how it really is easy to do some of those things.
I mean,
kinda
you do have to somehow edit 20,000. You have to build up that rep, but that's still.
But still, you can
you can.
easily.
You can,
There's no
and-
like security that you have to go through in order to get it.
It's true.
Well, there is, but it's designed by people like Mobley who just know it. And that was the point. We do blindly trust. I blindly trust Wikipedia a little too much, right?
But
Like that's where that White Rose fact came from.
But speaking of that, and not to backtrack too much, but was anybody have any issues with the whole security clearance thing that was happening at Steel Mountain? Like with him
That
looking it
felt-
up. You know, it
That
just
felt easy.
everything felt really easy. Like nobody saw Elliot messing with the logs. I would think that there would be like 10 security guards on each floor. It was just a lot of stuff.
And that's the
there
second
that felt-
episode it's happened in.
Yeah.
Because in the last episode, even with Angela, getting into Allsafe,
No one saw her. She
there's
didn't
no
get caught in any
there aren't any cameras.
Yeah, is that like
made
a
a little more sense?
Why?
Just because Allsafe doesn't seem to be. Allsafe seems to be a place like a security firm on the outs. That might be a thing.
But no security cameras on other floors because she had to get up to Allsafe.
Is that kind of like a slap in the face to us that we're not safe? That the things that
is.
need security don't have them?
Hey,
Yeah.
I love the
It is.
TSAs.
I was just going to say TSA was 95% not in compliance.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was pretty interesting to me. I don't know. I was looking. I mean, then there was struggle there, but I was just looking for even more struggle. And even though, what's her name, Trudy, the girl who shows up instead
Oh, yeah.
of Wendy. I mean, I get that you're getting a text from your husband, but you're at work. Like this is a.
But that was that was her vulnerability. They couldn't find anything on her. Your husband, he was sick. Something happened to him. I need you now. It supersedes everything.
I could sort of get that, but my job is also on the line too. So I don't know. I feel like there's a better way. She could have
My
called
husband's
security.
dying.
Yeah,
It didn't
no.
necessarily say that he was dying though. We don't know what it was.
But for her to act that way, it is us to take that leap of faith.
Yeah, well, but the thing that kind of threw me a little bit was I thought they would, like, they clearly knew that Wendy's wife was pregnant. And they were going to use that as their, as their, punchline, so to speak. No one checked before they started just to make sure. Like, there's pictures
they
on
had a lot of
Facebook.
moving points. They had a lot of moving parts.
I'm just
I know.
saying. I'm just
But they're all
saying.
high-functioning people. That's what I'm saying. They cover all their bases.
You would
Especially
think.
someone like Romero.
Yeah, you would think.
But the whole point is they set themselves up to be this impenetrable facility, and it just seemed like there were way too many. I mean, like I get, like you said, maybe we are speaking about, you know, how the things that are supposed to protect us and security, it's not as safe as.
I mean, didn't someone get into like the White House the past like 6 months a year on the lawn? Like, talk about places that should have security and don't like.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm only saying that just because Mobley said it right before it happened. You know, they had that discussion that there's a way to.
Yeah, I got that, but I guess for me, in a more logical sense, like I would at least have called, like, hey, can somebody come here and escort you out, versus just saying, hey, you know, because you don't know this man. This person could be trying to hack into Still Mountain, you know. You
know what the crazy thing for me was, too, about that whole thing? It was like they couldn't find her online, but they had her phone number.
Yeah. They found the husband's phone number.
Then it was but they found they found her phone number, too.
But
because they texted her.
I'm guessing if you find her husband's phone number, it's probably really easy to find.
Search hers.
If you're able to spoof a text from a person, you're probably in their system anyway and can see who they text a lot.
That just happened very quickly.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that.
Love you.
They thought well on their toes, and it worked.
Yeah.
So, kudos,
so let's start where they started, or let's end where they started, with Fernando.
Yes.
we're Fernando's back. Is anyone else following him on Twitter? He went dark. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
I did not. I wanted to check out his tweets.
Yeah.
For sure. You know,
he went dark. He went dark 2 weeks ago. I don't know what happened. He must have went to jail. He must have went
Twitter
to
jail.
He must have actual jail.
Jail.
But he's in jail. He's not sentenced yet, so he's in jail. He's not in prison yet. And he's talking to his lawyer, and his lawyer is just, you're facing murder 1.
Yeah.
It was an anonymous tip. You did a dumb thing by making everything public.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was something in that picture that they kept showing us that led him back to Elliot.
Yeah.
Which
but
it didn't.
It was the Synoxin. Or the
Suboxone.
So it was that just too blatant? So it was what Elliot, or like, I feel like that was, man, that guy's got to deal drugs to so many people.
Yeah.
Out of all the people, he just, it seemed. I mean, you knew they were going to I said it last week, you know what I mean? Like, you knew they were going to connect it.
Yeah.
But it just seemed, I don't know.
Yeah, the way that they,
the way
that he knows. But there's only one person in town that needed Suboxone. So I think he had
was
to
it
figure.
too hard to connect it?
I don't think it was.
Well, no, like she's saying, yeah. I mean, they've been dealing drugs for years, and they've had, I'm sure that there's like turf.
But don't you remember in episode 2, forgive me for interrupting, we were surprised by how eloquent and intelligent Fernando was.
Very true. And that whole exchange between them two might have, just looking at it might have, I'm sure he knows how intelligent Elliot is, and especially since Fernando knew how close Shayla and Elliot were, and having that whole exchange between them go down, I'm sure he was like, okay, well, there's motive, and he's intelligent. He could pull this off. It was anonymous, so.
Quick confession: when I saw the scene, I at first thought he was immediately as I said, Shayla's done. That was my first thought. But when he was explaining it, then I said, oh, he immediately thought it was Elliot. Elliot was behind the tip, and he clued in just like that. And so it took me a second to catch on.
Well, yeah, as soon as he was like, so that's what he does. Because he had asked about Elliot before. Remember when they were sitting on when it was clear that Shayla had slept with him and she was in the bathroom, when they were both sitting on the couches, he was asking him questions about what he does, whatever, and he wasn't answering. So I feel like that circles back to that moment of the two of them in the house and Elliot not giving any information about who he is. So that's when he was like, oh, so that's who you are. Like, he put the 2 and 2 together, and he knew the only way to get to Elliot was to steal Shayla.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
You know what cracks me up? Just Fernando himself and his character. He's this like metaphysical guy, which cracks me up.
Yeah.
The universe has brought us to
cosmic responsibility. Oh my gosh.
I just tweeted at him to see if he's back.
Hit him
because
with
I was like, are you back? I need some biscuits.
Okay.
So if I have drugs next week, it's because he's back and he gave me biscuits, which are totally just biscuits and not drugs.
Vegas drugs and biscuits, man.
I'm living the life right now.
You really are.
So I think it's time for predictions. I think we were a little Shayla light.
Yeah. Which
I'm happy.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, that
Wing extravaganza, which I would eat there. That seems like a wonderful establishment.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to save for predictions. That's Shayla. It's all about, to me, it's all about Shayla.
well, not even that. I feel like it's almost sad because I don't know about you guys, but I felt and saw emotion from Elliot different in this episode than ever before.
Yeah.
Like, he actually cares about her. Whether or not he's being manipulated to care about her, whether or not she's dirty at all, whether or not she's part of this whole thing with Vera, who knows? But he clearly cares about her in a way that makes him feel something, I think, that's different.
And in a way that's different from the way that he cares about Angela, too. Like, there's a...
Yeah. Or Darlene. He seems to care about all three of them.
No, but it's different.
Yeah.
He cares about Shayla completely different. I think he just feels bad for Darlene.
Yeah.
He sees himself in it. He sees his mom in it. And I feel like Angela is just someone that's a safe place for him. But he genuinely cares for Shayla, I think.
And I think it's been developing over time. Because in the beginning, he didn't necessarily have those feelings for Shayla. It was
I didn't think we were
obvious.
going to see Shayla again.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Oh, no,
in
she's
in
there to
pilot,
stay.
But in the pilot, like, she genuinely felt like a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She genuinely felt like, oh, that's his drug
Or
dealer.
pop in every now and
Yeah,
again, you know, like, hey.
Literally,
Like
just
a-
like, hey,
Like a sexy
sitcom,
Kramer?
Yeah, exactly.
giddy up.
Sexy Kramer.
Are we
Sexy
ready
drug dealing
ready
Kramer.
to predict some stuff?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it.
Let's get in there.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. Starting with JC.
Shayla, dead or alive?
Wow.
You gotta predict. You can't ask a question during prediction.
No,
I'm just letting it marinate a little
He's
bit.
implying
Okay.
that Shayla is in danger and possibly dead.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. I'm calling that. I know I got to make a prediction, but I know
She's not dead.
No, she's alive.
There's no power in that. Then his feelings are hurt. But they're going to use her as a bargaining chip to get Elliot to, like, hack into something bigger so that they can continue to sell drugs and be part of something else.
Okay, so she's hurt.
I don't think she's hurt either. She's just hostage. She's ransom.
Ransom? Okay.
I feel like they're going to use maybe even more than Shayla. Like, throughout the episode and in the trailer for the next episode, I don't know, it just seems like there's ways that they're going to pull in other people. Like, maybe Elliot himself might have to pull other people in just so that he can save Shayla, but I feel like it's going to be more than Shayla's life or her well-being that's going to be at stake in the next episode.
The reason I just want to say if she could possibly be dead is because Elliot's weakness is revenge.
Yep. That's
Right, but who is he going to get?
Yeah, who would he?
Who is he going to get revenge on? Like, that doesn't...
There are, yeah, he's already
you might be
in jail.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it would just
No, but
seem
it-
like, who is he going to...
but they could hurt Shayla and he'd seek revenge.
And
But
I
then
don't know
still
if
to
Vera
expose him?
knows that, though. Like, Tyrell obviously knows that
But
that's
what-
his hack,
but
but I don't know
what's-
if Vera knows that.
But what's more revenge? Like, he's in jail already.
Yeah.
So if they killed her, all he's going to do is probably hack and create more evidence and support to get this guy
Yeah.
locked away.
And that's not Vera seems
Doesn't-
smarter than that.
Yeah, I don't
I think it looks like Vera's creating a situation. He's creating a situation that will involve putting Elliot in danger, and F Society will have to help, or at least Darlene will have to help. Is what looks like to me. More predictions.
I think that definitely Angela and the whole all safe thing is going to come back. Like Gideon, that whole situation is going to come back to bite them in the butt. I don't know if they'll lead it to Ollie, like if they'll go that, well, Ollie's card was used, so it was Ollie, you know, or if they'll do more of investigation and Gideon thinks that Elliot was involved. So, but I do think that that's going to definitely come back for maybe not the next episode, but for the next ones.
I was going to tell you this. You know, Gideon's name, go on the Reddit boards,
Yeah.
they broke down everyone's name because remember Fernando said
Oh, yeah.
everyone's name has a meaning. Gideon's name means destroyer.
I like that.
So to chew on that.
Just meditate on that.
oh, I was just going to go somewhere totally far-fetched.
No, please.
Why not?
That's what predictions
Fetch
are
it.
for.
Fetch it.
This is what the show
Is
about.
Gideon and Tyrell working together?
No, I don't see that. I think Gideon's gonna have more of a role.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gideon's gonna have more of a role. Maybe not with Tyrell, but he's gonna have more of a role. And I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. Are we giving all this brilliance to Elliot? But is Elliot the one that's really being manipulated and like taken along like a robot? They're making him do everything they actually want him to do.
Yes.
I could see
I think
that.
it's a little bit of both.
Steph, what's your prediction?
That, and I feel like somehow the plot is gonna thicken with Vera a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like they're gonna have Elliot do some stuff that's pretty gnarly.
I agree. I'll steer away from Vera. I think White Rose is Tyrell.
Yeah.
I think he's working with Dark Army. And I think Dark Army doesn't need F Society because of Ollie hacking into...
Allsafe.
Because of Ollie giving the same backdoor in the Allsafe that Elliot had.
Oh, so you think that's why the Dark Army called it off?
I think that's why the Dark Army
Oh,
called
that
it
makes
off.
sense too.
I may have been influenced by the chat during this time. But
See, that's not fair. You seem like the smartest one, but you're looking up all the answers.
That's why I'm being polite.
That's just... I thought someone called you an encyclopedia. It's called the internet. No, I'm just kidding.
Right here. But that seems to wrap us up for the night.
No, I think you just tied a bow on that though. That was good.
I think
Steve.
that's how we're doing this.
Yeah. All right.
Steph, people want to tweet at you. Where will they tweet at you?
You guys can tweet me at I am Stef Z with an F.
Hey guys, tweet at me Ashley_Chapman.
Nice. And follow me at JC Rubio TV on Instagram and the Twitter.
And you guys can follow me at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. I do a lot of shows here and tweet about them regularly. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Bill!
And listening. Bill!
Bye, Bill.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only, do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
She's looking number 1 or number 2 on the toilet.